Am I wrong for moving out and leaving my ex/roommate with rent they can't afford? Last fall, my ex, Demi, 28-year-old female, and I, 30-year-old male, broke up after about 7 years of dating. We rented a house together along with our mutual, free-spirited friend, Andrea, 27-year-old female. Given finances and the housing market, we decided to continue living together. While our breakup was heartbreaking, I understood why it needed to happen and we were civil about it. I knew I wasn't planning on dating anytime soon, and she was very vocal about not wanting to be tied down in a monogamous relationship so she could experiment. So the unofficial agreement was keeping the house a neutral, non-dating zone to avoid hard feelings. She moved into one of the other rooms of the house, and I kept the master bedroom. I have a well-paying remote job in my field of study, while Demi and Andrea both work in retail. I've always paid the lion's share of bills. I've never had a problem with any of this, and my ex and Andrea pay what they can. Well, last week, Demi approached me and asked if we could trade rooms so she could have the master bedroom. She was really nervous when she asked me. I asked why she wanted to trade, and she avoided eye contact and stuttered out something like, "So I could have more room for myself, maybe someone else." Sparing you the details of the conversation, she's been seeing someone and wants to move him into the house. I asked her if she was out of her mind and flat out refused the trade. I realized in that moment it was time for me to leave, even though rent is still outrageous. I gave Andrea the heads up I was planning to leave and she was really supportive. She assured me they'd figure out the bills. I immediately applied for a rental and yesterday, I got a call that seems to imply my offer was accepted. So I made the official "I'm moving out" announcement. My ex, who I hadn't really talked to since the trade conversation, absolutely lost her shit, asking how I could do this to them, saying they'll end up homeless, etc. While I'm generally a very calm person, I'd finally had enough and I got petty. I told her she could get her boyfriend to pay my portion of the rent. She replied he couldn't afford it. I asked her if her original plan was to have me financially support her and her new boyfriend, and it continued devolving from there. Andrea is a bit of a nomad and would still find happiness even if she was living out of her car. I still care for Demi, but she's the kind of person who needs someone to take care of her. And I just can't be that person anymore. But I know my moving out, especially so suddenly, will probably leave them with no choice other than to find a new place if they don't find a new roommate soon. So am I the AH? Am I wrong for not making my kids do chores with my stepdaughter? When my wife and I got engaged, we agreed we needed consistent rules for our household for all 3 kids, my 11 female and 6 male, and her 9 female. We each changed some of our rules to create a fair compromise. Most of my rules were stricter than hers, so many of my rules got chucked and some stuff was added to hers. We were in full agreement when we all moved in together. One rule it was hard for my stepdaughter to adjust to was chores. My kids have been doing them most of their lives. They clean their own rooms and work together to clean their shared bathroom. They help cook dinner and they each have one night a week where they have to sweep and take out the trash. My kids complain to me that stepdaughter hates cleaning the bathroom and always cleans really slow, forcing my kids to either do most of the work or be in there forever. I decided that was unfair. I told my daughter she was responsible for cleaning the toilet and tub. My son is responsible for the floor. Stepdaughter has to do the sink and mirror. Once they have finished their tasks, they can leave even if she isn't done. Since stepdaughter is a procrastinator, often, they are done before she even begins. They will rush in, clean, and then rush out to do their rooms while she takes her time putting her shoes away and unpacking her book bag. Often, they are completely done with their chores by the time she's finished one. Stepdaughter is really upset by this. She says it is unfair. Last night she started bawling because she didn't finish her chores and got no dessert, the agreed upon consequence. My wife says we are being unfair and I should make the kids go back to cleaning the bathroom together so they can teach her and she can improve. But she knows how to wipe down a sink, basin, and a mirror. She just doesn't want to. I feel like forcing the kids to work together punishes my kids needlessly. Am I the AH? Am I wrong for not telling my roommate what his GF was going to wear to a black tie event? I, 27-year-old female, live with my partner, 27-year-old male, and his friend, also 27-year-old male, Todd. The boys have been best friends for years. They work in the same law firm but different departments. Todd has been dating Ruby, 23-year-old female, for about 6 months. We all get on great, go out together for dinner, drinks, etc. The boys' work was put on a black tie event for a charity they donate to each year. I asked Ruby what she was going to wear. She told she wasn't sure as she doesn't have anything that would be classed black tie. I said I'm happy to go shopping with her or even let her look at a couple of my dresses. She told me she'll think on it, but my style isn't really her style. Fair enough, she is more hippie chic, where I guess I'm more preppy casual. A week before the event, Ruby shows me the dress she is going to wear and asks for my honest thoughts. So I told her straight it's more of a cocktail dress than black tie. It was just above the knee and dipped pretty low in the back and had very thin straps. I made a comment that I'd been to these events before and when they say black tie, they mean black tie. She just shrugged me off and said she likes it. She is going to wear. At the event, my partner and I went off and mingled and left Todd and Ruby to do their own thing. During the dinner, we were sat with people from my partner's department and I overheard 2 women talking about Ruby's dress and how it was not appropriate to wear what she was at one of these events. I ignored it. Later on, I heard a few more women make comments about Ruby and how her behavior and outfit was not okay. She was beyond drunk by the end of the night. On Monday evening, Todd was telling me, all day everyone was talking about Ruby's outfit and behavior. I said I did try to warn her, but she didn't want to listen, and then he turned on me and said, I should have tried harder or even gone to him about it because I knew it would make him look bad. I disagreed and said that she is a grown woman and if she doesn't know how to dress respectfully in a formal event, that's on her. When I talked to my partner, he said the main issue was her drinking, not the dress, but maybe I should have given Todd a heads up over it. So now I'm doubting myself. Am I the AH? Am I wrong for not wanting to invite my brother to my wedding? Between ages 8 and 14, I was fat. I have 3 siblings, a brother who is 7 years older than me, a sister who is 10 years older than me, and a brother who is 9 years older than me. If you're wondering what's up with the big age gap, my dad had stage 4 cancer among many other health issues before I was born. A doctor told him that he had a better chance of getting struck by lightning than having another child. Long story short, he always called me his lightning child and never made me feel like an accident or a mistake. He was a great dad. When I was a kid, my brother, who is 9 years older than me, fat-shamed me to the point that I started to have trouble eating. I got in shape, but I'm 22 now, and I still can't look at myself in the mirror without hearing my older brother calling me a little fat boy. When I was 18 and went to university, I made some great friends. One day, we were all chatting about high school bullies, and I told them that my older brother was my bully. It wasn't until then that I realized how insane it was. Realizing that my bully was a grown man who caused me to have eating disorders, among other mental health issues, was a real wake-up call for me. Shortly after, my dad died, and not a day goes by where I don't think about him. I tried to keep in touch with my brother to see how he was doing, but eventually, we ended up only seeing each other at family gatherings. He would make snide remarks to me, judging what I do for a living. I do research in mathematics, implying my work is useless, making jokes that I'm too skinny. One day, I snapped after he made one of those snide remarks, so I got up and left. That was 2 years ago. Since then, I try to avoid family gatherings that he goes to. My brother knows now that I'm not just some submissive child who will put up with him anymore, so we haven't had any problems in the past 2 years, but how are you supposed to have issues with a person you don't talk to? My other family members say that I need to talk to him to resolve our issues. They never understand that I have tried to do that for years. I tried doing it once I wasn't fat anymore, and I tried doing it after our dad died. Eventually, I grew sick of trying to be the bigger person because no matter how hard I try, I'm always disappointed. I recently got engaged to the love of my life. We have the whole wedding planned now. When we were figuring out who we were inviting, I didn't think there would be an issue not inviting my brother. I don't want anything negative associated with one of the best days of my life. When I told my other brother and my mom that he wouldn't be invited, they both reacted calmly but said they were disappointed. It turns out they were talking about me behind my back, saying that I'm being very petty about everything. I told them I would invite him to my wedding. I don't know at this point, I need some outside perspective here. Am I the AH?